I passed. So yesterday I told you I was going to go and get try to get my driver's license renewed. Of course, you know, I went blind in my right eye this what, 3 or 4 years ago, and I mean I can see colors, but it's bad. I don't know, put several layers of saran wrap over your eye and that's what it's like. So went to the driver's license office, or the license office, and I don't know, everybody else that was getting their driver's license were taking an enormous amount of time to get the license, but I just walked up there, went through the process, and I mean, it was, I bet I wasn't there 5 or 10 minutes. But anyway, had to take the eye exam, and I told her, look, I'm blind in my right eye. I can see in my peripheral, but I've got cataract. And she said, okay, go ahead and look into it. So I looked into it, and she said, read the top line. I read the top line. There's 3 boxes with letters in them. I read all 3 boxes. She says, what about the other boxes? And I thought she meant like line 2. And I said, line 2? She said, no, to the other boxes on line 1. There were no other boxes on line 1. I didn't see them. So I said, no, I don't see them. Okay. So she flashes the lights. I get that right. And she starts typing again. I said, did I pass? Oh, yeah, you passed. Whew. Oh, a couple stressful days, you know, wrecking the truck, or not wrecking it, but getting in a fender bender over at the gas station, and then the eye exam. But it's over with. So now the only thing I got to do this year is get the truck's license renewed, and I think I'm ready for that because I got to get the truck inspected. So I got brakes, new tires. So I don't think there's anything else that they're going to find. I might have a bad bushing up on the front end, you know, something wobbling around there, but it's only when I make a right turn. I hear it every now and then. So I've you know, did the test with the wheels. I don't see any problems with the wheels, so we'll see about that. And I'll get it in early enough that, well, actually I think the guy down here does the inspections. If he does the inspections, I'll just, yeah, fix it. So what else is there? Well, it's really foggy today, so we're getting a little bit more moisture on the ground. That's good. Hopefully, oh, business has been terribly slow for the last week and a half, 2 weeks. Last thing I got was a push mower that just needed the carburetor cleaned out. They put 2-cycle oil in it. And I've turned down a lot of business. It's not business, it's just junk is what it is. You know, a couple days ago I told you somebody wanted me to work on this pull behind mower, the thing you pull behind the you know, like your ATV or something. But it was really old, and I wasn't gonna work on that. Yeah, I don't know, I feel like I've turned down a couple things. I can't think of them all. But then yesterday a guy called. Now, he was a previous customer a couple of years ago, but he became a nuisance. I mean, an absolute nuisance. Let's see if I can figure out. I was hoping I had one that was already open. Hold on. Okay, this isn't the right carburetor, but it'll work. So he brings it over and says it only runs if I turn the fuel shut off to nearly off. So it's clear that he's getting too much gas. So with the impulse fuel pumps, because this was a John Deere, had an impulse fuel pump, it's not possible for it to get overpressurized and push too much gas into it. The only thing that will ever happen to that fuel pump is that it'll get weaker and weaker and weaker over time. It'll never get stronger. But that's what he was claiming, it was the fuel pump. Well, it wasn't. First of all, he had bad gas in it, so I drained the gas out of it. And I took the bowl off to get the bad gas out of the carburetor. And this, the float was stuck open. This is an open position, this is shut. And there's a needle valve. It goes into a hole right there. And that needle valve plugs a hole that allows fuel in. So as this goes up, that needle valve goes up, it plugs the hole, gas shuts off. But when it's stuck open, gas just keeps pumping through it. So with a fuel pump pumping, it just keeps pushing gas into it, and all that excess gas goes into the carburetor up here and into the cylinder, and it floods it out is what it's doing. It's choking itself out. It's getting more fuel than air. So you get this black smoke and it runs bad. And so I popped that back in, put the bowl back in, put the new gas in, started right up, ran great. I bet it wasn't 2 days later, he calls back, says, it's running bad. I demand that you put a carburetor on it. And I said, okay. And I told him what it would cost. And he says, I'm not paying you again. I said, sir, there's only one way what you're doing can happen. Is you're running it up on a steep hill, and when you do that, it binds this. Because all your gas in the bowl ran to one side and it just binds it up and it gets stuck. You're only supposed to run your lawnmower no more than a 20 or 30 degree angle. And I know this for a fact because I did it to the beast. I was cutting the ditch and I knew it happened the instant it happened. I ran it up on the ditch and all of a sudden just started running bad. So I pulled it back down, took the bowl off, popped that float back up. It's ran fine ever since. Well, there was another problem, but that was in the wintertime. So anyway, he brings it over. I put a new carburetor on it free of charge. Well, about 2 months later, he calls back, says, it's doing it again. Well, I only have a 30-day warranty. No. This is the third time I've had to bring it over there. You're going to fix this, and you're going to fix it right. And I said, fine, okay, this is the last time I'm working on it. And he demanded a new carburetor. And it was a HIPAA carburetor, so I know it was a good carburetor. I mean, carburetors don't go bad unless you leave gas in them. They just don't go bad. So he starts yelling at me, and I'm saying, just bring it over. This is the last time I'm working on it, and then I recommend you sell the lawnmower because it's not designed to do what you're doing with it. I'm not doing anything to it. I said, you're running it up on a hill. No, I'm not. Well, he may not even realize what I'm talking about when I say running it up on a hill. He's running up a steep ditch or something. So he never brings it over. He's mad. He's called a couple times. One time he called and hung up. I called him right back, and he said, yeah, I need a weed eater worked on. Well, he never brought it. I would have worked on the weed eater because it wasn't related to that mower. And then he called back just a few weeks ago and wanted some tires. And I said, I don't sell tires. So yesterday he calls and says, I got a yard machine, and gas is leaking out of the muffler. I said, yeah. Yep, that makes sense. And he says, is that the carburetor? I said, yeah, that's the carburetor. He says, well, how much are you going to charge me to fix it? I said, I'm not going to fix it. It's the same problem you've had in the other ones. So he says, well, how come? So I explained it to him. I said, you're abusing your machines. Now, there is no way I was going to be able to explain to him, because he wasn't going to listen, that the John Deere was flooding out when it was running because it has a fuel pump. So the gas tank is lower than the carburetor, so a fuel pump pushes fuel up to the carburetor and it just produces too much. But in the yard machine, it's gravity fed. So your gas tank is above your carburetor. So the carburetor always has fuel, whether the machine is running or not. It always is getting fuel. So he's got the same problem. The float is stuck open. But when he shuts off the machine, the gas just keeps flowing. And it goes right out the muffler and into the crankcase. I mean, he's got a serious problem with the yard machine. So I'm not going to work on it because what he's going to do is he'll do it again. I'll put a new carburetor on it. He'll do it again. And a week later, I'll be fixing it. So I'm just not going to work on it. He's not listening. What he wants to be able to do is abuse his machine as much as possible, or as much as he can, or whatever, and then have me responsible for fixing it every time he breaks it. And I'm just not going to do it. Of course, my new policy would protect me from that, but it's unlikely he'd even sign it. So I was kind of rude to him, but I don't care anymore. I mean, you know, business is slow. It'll pick back up again next year. It'll probably pick up now that we got this rain and it's cooled off. It probably pick up again. It did last year. Well, I don't think we ever slowed down last year, but last year we were swamped until October. So, and it's funny because we spent all this money on advertisement, the banners, the T-shirts, the jackets. To advertise, and as soon as we did, business just froze up. I don't know. I'm sure something will come around. I don't know. It was so hot. People may have not come down to the lake during that time. It was pretty hot. And the thing is everybody keeps saying the economy is bad, and it's psychological. I know that people argue with me every time I say this, but I have not noticed the economy bad. The gas went back up yesterday, and I don't even understand that. That doesn't make sense to me. Went back up to $3.99. And I'm looking at the oil prices, and they've been steady for nearly a month. I mean, they've been hovering around $82, $84. So why is the gas prices fluctuating when oil prices are not? So was it hot? You know, supply and demand. Was it too hot and nobody drove, so they decided, well, we got too much, how's that work? No, they wouldn't have enough supply. Yeah, you don't have enough supply, you would raise prices. Well, it was so hot, where was everybody? Nobody was out doing anything in all that hot weather, I don't think. I mean, maybe the other parts of the country were cooler. It was hot here. So, I don't know. Doesn't make any sense. But as far as the economy, everybody's talking about the tariffs. Tariffs ruin the country. You can't buy anything anymore. So let's say it's a 10% tariff, which is about average, is what I'm understanding. So you buy $100 worth of stuff, so it's an extra $10. To me, do you want to spend the $10? No, of course not. But it's not like, you know, the end of the world kind of stuff. It's not that bad. The problem is the media is pushing that we have a bad economy. It's a bad economy. So everybody believes it. So they stop spending money, which actually does harm the economy. So anyway, that might be one reason why people aren't bringing their lawnmowers over. I don't know. It's been a nice break. I'm kind of glad they didn't because it was so hot. I really didn't want to work on lawnmowers in all that heat. So, but this fog is like a rain. I'm sure it's just clouds, low clouds. But I guess I'm gonna jump off here. I got my license, so I'm good for another 6 years. So if you'll click this up next box to take you over a video over to my other channel, I'll really appreciate it. Go check it out. So if I can inspire you, don't get manipulated. So you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.